Who's an actor who you thought was going to be way more famous than they turned out to be? I think the most common answer to this question I see is Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, but I think mine would be Nikolaj Coster-Waldau from Game of Thrones. He played Jaime Lannister. And when I call him underrated, I'm not saying he was the best actor in the show. My vote for that would be Peter Dinklage. I'm saying he's the one that when I saw him on screen, I immediately thought, oh, he's going to get cast as James Bond or Batman in a few years. And since the show has ended, he has continued working. He's done a lot of small indie films that have gone direct to streaming. Right now, I think he's starring in a show on the BBC. And to be perfectly clear, not every actor aspires to be James Bond or Batman. Not everybody wants that career. I greatly admire the performers who could have that career and intentionally don't. But for example, I feel like there was a big push on Hollywood's part to try to make Emilia Clarke a superstar. You know, she got the role of Sarah Connor in a Terminator film. She got a major role in a Star Wars film, the Han Solo movie. And I never felt like there was a moment when Hollywood was trying to make Nikolaj a thing. But even when watching Game of Thrones in real time, I actually wasn't that crazy about the show for the first couple of seasons. I feel like the show got good as his character was allowed to become more well-rounded. And as Nikolaj Coster-Waldau was allowed to play it with more nuance and getting these bigger acting moments. I feel like the apex of that show in its entirety wasn't any of the huge battle scenes, but rather just that scene where it's him in the bath confessing all that came before.
I don't think he expected to die. He meant to stand with the rest of us and rise again. Reborn as a dragon, turn his enemies to ash. He slit his throat to make sure that didn't happen.
He had a difficult task in the show to go from the most hated villain to being somebody that the audience would root for. And that's not something that's pulled off just with acting. It's just presence and charisma, where the moment you see him, you just kind of want him on your side. There's not many performers that can do it. But I feel like they could have thrown him like one of Pedro Pascal's roles.